Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here, once again to do another Star Wars The Bad Batch review, Season 3, Episode 1, 2, and 3, the final season. Also, episodes 33, 34, and 35, if you want to get more technical. I did try to review these episodes a few days back, but some technical difficulties resulted in me losing track of when it was recorded. So I ended up ending the stream and then deleting it. But now I have pretty much the trying to do it again, hopefully a lot quicker. And boy, we're in the final season now. Let's see, The Bad Batch, the sequel series to the direct sequel to the Clone Wars, where this time following the group of clones that were introduced in season 7, as well as Echo. This was the new clone Omega, which, depending on who you ask, Star Wars fans either love the show, hate the show, indifferent, just see it as there, enjoy it now and then, or dislike certain characters like Omega. But yeah, there's all kinds of feelings for the show, and yeah. And this one season will follow up on what happened last time, in which let's see, Crosshair tries to defect from the Empire, but remains a prisoner. The Bad Batch try to find him, but end up having Tech killed, though granted many theorize that he's still alive because we never saw his body. And Omega ended up being captured after the Bad Batch was betrayed by Sid. And then with the cliffhanger that there's another female clone like let's see, Omega. Now, how does all this play out? Well, we'll first go to the first episode in which we begin on the planet where an Imperial shuttle goes to the Tennis base on Wayland, where the TK stormtroopers get crashed by shuttle. They try to get to the base, or at least try to get contact, but they're attacked by the wild creatures there. The Doctor antagonist, Royce Hemlock, he does not send out reinforcements for them, since he figures it'll be a waste of resources to go save them, and they're already dead pretty much. Which we hear their screams from the comlink, and then we follow and then we cut to Omega, who is now a prisoner here, greeted by her new sister, Emery Carr. I'm just going to call her Carr from now on, where she says that she's a prisoner, but Carr says that's not the case. She's just she's like a guest, or more of like just an assistant to Nala Se. And then we just see her walking through the corridors, seeing Crosshair with a bunch of other clone prisoners, as only the Bad Batch. There's only clone commandos, I believe Stock from the Republic Commando series, still in active service to the Empire. Omega gets a blood sample and then is at this point told its procedure, and asks her how come she never saw in Kamino, which she says that she was assigned elsewhere. Then Hemlock saw potential in her, just has Nala Se saw potential in Omega. With Omega talking about how she's relieved that she's not alone. And then she ends up going to Nala Se in the lab, in which Nala Se tells her that she's here so that she would work more cooperatively. Realize that Omega's blood has been scanned, destroys the evidence of any of it being scanned, warning her that it's best to keep a secret just to be on the safe side, and it's safer this way for her. And then Omega asking about the research, and it's not like cloning us like before. And it's some sort of M-count experiments. So, and it's not clones. So, yeah, with Hemlock preparing, telling them that he hopes that Omega's presence will help Nala Se do the work. And this is where we see then, see Omega's witty daily routine, as Hemlock takes Nala Se to this sort of vault, when we see just Omega trying to feed these things called lurker hounds, sort of like, I guess, guard dogs, really, where she with this droid K9X1, in which who is feeding them. She tries to befriend this young one called Batcher, but remains hostile towards her at first, even though she's trying to share her food, since she won't eat anything else. and then eventually Crosshair later, talking about how she wants to try and get him out to escape, but Crosshair says it's impossible. He's tried. Omega tries to say that she can probably trust Car to help, but Crosshair says that that she's too trusting and that all clones are her ally, with Omega saying that Crosshair trusts her so little. And then that sort of ends Omega's day. She goes back to her cell, marking cross lines of the day she spent there. And then she's apparently building a something called a Tuka doll, something that she had, something similar to what she had on the ship that Wrecker gave her, I believe. And then this goes on and then we just cut like either to the following day or some time goes by, because this time Omega has a ponytail, which he sees Crosshair being moved with the other prisoners again. Blood removed by her blood removed by Car, and Nala-Se destroying the evidence. The only difference is this time Batcher's injured, so she tries to get the droid to heal him, but he refuses, says he's not in his programming, and warns of that Batcher doesn't get healed, she'll be terminated. So Omega gets Batcher to comply and starts healing her, and this starts to have Batcher bond with Omega down the line, which Omega starts talking to Crosshair about that, but Crosshair thinks that she's wasting her time caring for the stray, and the same with her trying to rescue him, thinking he's not worth it, but she thinks he is. And then we are cut to another morning where this time clone commandos come in with Car to inspect her room. They find her secret food supplies as well as her Tuka doll, with Car saying that's not procedure, but she refuses to comply. Just wants to keep the doll, but she's not happy either way. And then we cut to Nala-Se talking with Hemlock about the sort of specimens with Encounter. Apparently failure apparently it's not going well, as more diminishing than replenishing from the subjects, and warning her that if she doesn't speed up the progress, Omega may end up having a bit more of let's say but less privileges during the entire thing, which Nala-Se says that she is loyal to science and will do it. And then we cut to back to the feeding Penna again. Batcher's much more healthy and acting much more dog-like and docile, which the droid reveals that as a result, Batcher's set for termination. But Omega protests, saying it was her fault, but so she ends up fighting the droid a bit, having a giant crate land on him, and then getting Batcher to escape. And this is where Dr. Hemlock arrives with Car, warning that Omega that she's now in trouble for trying to get that, releasing that lurker hound in the wild. Thinking that what she is doing is foolish, but Omega will talking back about how just terminating her is cruel, with him going on about the wild beasts out there would probably just kill her anyway. But Omega refuses to relent and reminds him that he can't hurt her because Nala-Se he values Omega, and if she's harmed, Nala-Se is not going to work. But Hemlock resorts that he actually has there's ways around it in which he can hurt Crosshair, who Omega is fond of, and this gets Omega to not retort back and anything, and remain a bit less hostile. With Hemlock now warning Omega that she'll be much more restricted, and that her actions will have consequences if she's not careful down the line in the future. And Omega is taken back to her cell by Car, and Car sort of tries to comfort Omega, but she just wants to be left alone. But she ends up does leave that Toka doll from before. So and Omega hears a batch of sounds of howling in the distance, where it's revealed that she's by the Imperial shuttle that crashed, showing that at the very least she's managed to survive that far out. Ending the episode on a sort of optimistic note for like Batcher, though maybe not necessarily for like fully on Omega. She's now still probably got more tighter prison sentence. So yeah. Now, overall thoughts on the episode. Okay, for the shuttle crashing, I didn't really think much of it, but granted, this is more of something that goes down later on the line in one of the episodes that I've yet to summarize. So I won't go to topics there, but I suppose it does show Dr. Hemlock being like a rather cruel calculating scientist of not bothering to rescue trapped men, thinking that's a waste of value of time and resources. So we get that. Now, I will admit, Omega's storyline here of I suppose is kind of predictable of like spending her time in a cell, just like a routine and all that. Let's see, crossing out the days, hiding stuff, secret stash, trying to befriend like an inmate or like a guard dog, all that kind of stuff. It's arguably predictable and episode, but it's not necessarily bad. But I can probably tell that if you hate Omega, you're probably not going to enjoy this episode much. But I do like how Nala Se is like Omega is trying to bond with Car, even though she probably shouldn't, as Crosshair pretty much mentions. But she's just excited at the idea of having like a sister for her as a fellow clone and all that, since all she's had really are her brothers, pretty much. Well, granted, you could argue Hunter's more like a father figure at this point for her, but I digress. But I do like how but like I said, she can't really be 100% trustworthy, though granted, Car does show some compassion to Omega at the end by leaving her Toka doll after having such a bad day. But I do like the sort of fact that I do like the sort of bond that she had with those that Luca Hound, which pretty much the Star Wars equivalent of guard dogs, which I probably mentioned earlier. How at first witty hostile, but after just healing it and then becomes a lot more friendly. It's like I like the dog-like behavior that Batcher displays. But I do like how you've got Omega's optimism clashing with both Crosshair's sort of nihilism or delusionment and all that stuff. He thinks that he's no longer worth saving. He can't escape. It's best that Omega just try and gets out on her own if she can. But Omega sees Crosshair's family since he's part of the Bad Batch. So she's going to try and get him out along with it, which, to be fair, probably smart that you need at least one clone with combat skills in order to get out. I mean, let's see, Omega might have been trained a little bit by the Bad Batch, but she doesn't have the same skills as Crosshair. So there is that little technical advantage. But I also do enjoy the fact that we've got like a bit of a clash of ideals of like with Omega and Hemlock, where Hemlock is like saying the weak and not wasting time on resources, but Omega wants to help and nourish them, thinking that they don't deserve to be destroyed and all that stuff. But I do like how she just tried to play like, you can't help me because Nala Se, but unfortunately for her, Hemlock has already figured out her weakness of caring for Crosshair. So that was pretty good. I do like that. Other than that, that droid that's part K91X or something. Clearly, which is just probably arguably a prototype for the K2SO series. It's fine. It's just more of a minor antagonist for Omega once minor antagonist for Omega when she's trying to free Batcher and all that. So it's not really not much of the character besides that, but it worked for the situation, I think. But I'm glad that at the very least, he was taken down by a giant crate rather than Omega actually beating him one-on-one directly. So that wasn't really going to happen. Other than that, it seems Hemlock and Narcea are working on some sort of midichlorian experiment. My guess it's the cloning for Palpatine for the rise of Skywalker. At least that's what I am guessing, since whether or not we like it or not, the sequel trilogy is canon. So for those who hate it and don't want it in your Star Wars shows, well, there seems to be slightly building up in these Star Wars shows, particularly the Bad Batch, since that would be dealing with cloning a lot. Overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not as exciting, I guess, as probably as the first season one. Premiere, nor I guess season 2. I don't know. It depends on how people feel about the season 2 premiere, but at the very least, it's nice seeing sort of like Omega's lifestyle in prison. And granted, perhaps maybe it went a bit too long, could have been shorter. And also some of the intrigue with Dr. Hemlock and like his goals for the with Nala Se. But hold on. I'm trying to think what else I'm going to say next. We got a message from someone called Angela Serena. Hello, nice to hear you. Let's see, she's asking, are you excited for more Bad Batch tomorrow? Yes, I am, and this is probably why I am trying to review these episodes right now, so that I don't have all these episodes piling up for when I review them. So yeah, I'm trying to do episode by episode. So there we go, like that. But yeah, anyway, I'm just giving my overall thoughts of the first episode. It's like a 7 out of 10. Nice seeing Omega's lifestyle in prison. Granted, I could probably see some people hate Omega not enjoying this episode, but I thought it was decent overall. Just a sort of standard life in the prison kind of episode. So there's like that. Oh, what we have here. Do you think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic? Yes, probably. Particularly, no, granted, probably a very veteran-wise Revan, I'd probably say. Granted, I'm not sure if Keanu Reeves is ever going to do it. I know that's like the fan favorite pick for Revan, but we'll have to wait and see. I do know that it was supposed to be a remake of the Knights of the Old Republic game coming out, but I'm not really sure on the status on that one right now. So, unfortunately, it seems like whether or not we get a live-action Revan or Revan returning to the games, that seems to be on a bit of a hiatus right now. But yeah, also Disney has some other Star Wars movies going on. Oh, here's a question. How do you think Crosshair will gain the Bad Batch trust again in the next episode? Well, I haven't even covered the episode he escapes yet, but if I had to guess, I figured he would probably try. I figured he would probably try and talk about how he helped Omega escape and will volunteer Hunter and Wrecker on how to find and rescue her. Because if I'm guessing, I have a feeling that even though Omega and Crosshair escape, I have a feeling now that being pursued by the Empire, Omega might get captured again or separated from Crosshair. So Crosshair will try to help the Bad Batch find them and then increase that squad of 2 to now 3, which, granted, I guess Echo could come back, but it seems like he's sticking more with Rex from what we saw in the second episode, which is getting into a bit of spoilers there. But yeah, overall, first episode, maybe a bit long, 7 out of 10, I enjoyed it. So yeah. Oh, what's this here? You don't mind me asking a lot of questions, do you? No, not at all. You can ask a lot of questions as much as you like. Though just keep in mind, I'm also going to try and summarize the next episode now, Paths of Unknown, which is pretty much following what happened with Hunter and Wrecker as they are trying to find Omeka, which begins on the planet Devron, where Roland Duran from that one episode from The Bad Batch. Ooh, what do we have here? I can't believe Sid betrayed the Bad Batch. Let's see. Well, I think, to be honest, I think it was sort of being built up, to be honest, particularly in the last season. It was pretty obvious that the Bad Batch were getting tired of Sid, and they were being warned that you couldn't really trust Sid. So I think it was going to happen. Are we ever going to see Sid again? Who knows? But at the moment, I am pretty certain Sid's going to probably remain hostile. Let's see. We might never see Sid again. So, but who knows? Either way, it seems that Sid plotline has been closed off. Let's see. What are your reactions to Ahsoka series finale and the South Park Pandaverse? Okay, I haven't really seen the South Park Pandaverse, but I do know about the whole Kathleen Kennedy stuff of it. Let's see. Some of it looks funny. Some of it might be a bit too much in the anti-woke, but granted, South Park is, knowing South Park, they're making fun of both those that just absolutely despise Kathleen Kennedy and just keep going like, oh, woke is ruining everything, and those that go like ultra, like, let's see, diverse, blah, 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 with like, and all the political correctnesses you see in films. My guess isn't that, but as for the Ahsoka season finale, I still have yet to review that episode, but I do want to, review it at some point, but I'll just say at the very least, I enjoyed it. I think I'm not sure what the general consensus of that finale is, but I enjoyed it for the most part, particularly Ahsoka fighting that the sort of Night Sister woman. I like that. I do like how you got Ahsoka and Sabine stuck there, but Ezra's in the other galaxy, so you have a bit of a swap. We do have like and also I'm curious, interesting to see Bail on Skull with like what he plans to do with those with like that power he's looking for, which seems to be related to the ones, and also to see what Thrawn does and what it all leads up to in this movie Dave Filoni's going to do. Okay, I'm excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. If you're a Marvel fan, yes, I am. I am excited for them. I am a Marvel fan. Marvel seems to be a bit of a slump with Phase 5 at the moment, with the exception of Guardians 3 and Loki Season 2, but I am excited. Anyway, I'm just going to get a little bit to the summary. We've got this like beginning with like some Devon captains being stand of trial for treason. The Queen, the Queen or the leader, which is Roland Duran's mother, called Issa Duran, has like all her captors' conspiracies have already been captured and confessed. None of the other members of the syndicate stand for the captain, so he falls to his death. And then you get like Hunter and Wrecker coming in to bring in a pike that cut off Roland's horn thing, with Ala asking what are the demands, in which they want information to find Hamlock since he took something. She's being a bit high and mighty, saying that if it wasn't for her son, trusting them, she would not, pander to them as long as she did. But she does give them the coordinates, but tells them to get out of their sight. With Roland's hope, wishing that they can find their friends, showing him having a bit of a character arc, which I like. By the way, if you wish, Angela Serene, you can ask me a few more questions while I am summarizing this episode. And then we have the Bad Batch. Traveling the Havoc Marauder, where we learn that Echo and Rex will take 2 cycles or 2 days pretty much to rendezvous on the planet they're going to next. But Hunter doesn't want to, is being a bit impatient and wants to go on ahead. But Wrecker reminds them that last time they went there without backup to a place, Imperial base without backup, not everyone made it out. And to further emphasize this, we see Tech's goggle remains, on the ship, which I do think is a little nice touch of like to remind us that Tech is no longer there. But they arrive on the planet known jungle world known as Cetron. They find the remains of the ship, and with a few bits of comments about how it smells. But let's see. They see the bombardment on it, and this is where you got Wrecker now being panicky, but Hunter trying to calm him down, saying that we don't know if Omega was on this lab or not. We need to keep searching. And doing this, they end up encountering two clone cadets by the name of Deke and Stack, with armed with spears, asking who they are until they remove themselves, and they go like, "Oh, you're reg cadets," and like, "Oh, you're like defective clones." Or 99s, if you will. And pretty much we learned that they were taken off Kamino, and they were expecting to join like the next batch of armies, only for them to like be taken to this lab to be experimented on and used, and then abandoned. So but they end up saying, "Ooh, okay, what do we have here? Have you seen the One Piece animated series? Deontay looks like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. You should look him up, as he has a red paints on." Yes, I have watched. Yes, I watch and read One Piece. I read the fight in the manga. Read the fight in the manga where he has against heroes, but not really watched it in the anime. But granted, that's because Dressrosa's anime was rather slow at the time. But I did enjoy One Piece. I am Ritzy. You see me. You can probably see a lot of my chapter reviews of One Piece on my channel if you want to check them out later. I'm a bit behind on the reviews, but arguably I mostly have reviewed so far the Wano and Egghead arc that's currently going on, mostly in the manga. So yeah, chapter reviews. I'm hoping to start reviewing them again once I have done this Bad Batch thing. But yeah, all right. You should look up the Demante One Piece animated series. Okay, I will probably try and do that after this stream, but at the moment, I'm just gonna continue reviewing. So there we have that. But let's see. But anyway, Hunter and Wrecker explain they're looking for Omega, so they decide to take him to Mox, their seemingly leader of their cadets, wanting them to be warned of these sliver vines that were experiments by Empire that went rogue, and probably why they blew up the planet, or at least the laboratory. Let's see. You're really awesome. Why, thank you. So yeah, I try my best. So yeah. Anyway, Wrecker accidentally touches one, and that results in a bit of a fight until Hunter cuts off the vines and they move back. And then they then arrive at the cadets' secret hideout, where they meet Mox, who's suspicious, but then they end up telling them who they are and where they're from, looking for Omega. They talk about how they were left to be abandoned by the facility, even by fellow clones who are just following orders. So they have a bit of trust issues right now. But Wrecker also talks about how they lost a bunch of people. And with Hunter offering to take them off-world once they have gotten the information they need from the base. They warn that the Perizzi place hasn't got power, but they have a means of increasing it, with Deke willing to volunteer to go with them, since he likes how the Twitzy Bad Batch looking out for each other's squads, compared to what he had probably dealt with the clones that abandoned them in the facility. Those Witsy Mox doesn't want to go with them, and Stack finds that Deke, usually the smart one, is being a little foolish right now and doesn't really trust them. So you get the Bad Batch in this sort of base, where you get a bit more about before that they go to their ship. You get Deke being amazed by the ship thing, and then you're having Wrecker taking Gonkin, giving Deke a mask. They enter the base and talks about how other clones cared for them like they do for each other. They end up fighting some of the vines there, as well as these little three-legged mutated ones that try to attack them. A sort of like alien horror vibe kind of situation. So we have that, and with asking about as they go through the wreckage, they eventually let's see, get to the cockpit, and it seems like my viewers have unfortunately left now. That's a shame, but it was fun while it lasted. But let's see, we then cut to the cadet choices. Cadet back to the two remaining cadets, where Stark wants to talk about how they should just take the ship and leave before the Vines destroy the ship, but Mox doesn't want to leave Deke behind and actually respects the Bad Batch for actually caring for the squad, but he gets persuaded to be taken to the ship eventually. And then you cut to Rex and Wrecker and Deke finding the data pad. They get gonks up to it, but then more giant finds in the swamp start attacking. Another of those little three-legged creatures start attacking them. Then engage a fight where you have Mox and Stack in the the Bad Batch's Marauder. Stack being amazed by the designs there, but Mox just seeing like the sort of family setting there they have with Omega's pit in the cockpit. They get contact from Deke that they're under attack. Stack wants to leave, but I think Deke wants to go after them and then sort of flies the ship to them. You see the Bad Batch fighting, and then the cadets arrive at the ship. They manage to hop on it, but they get ambushed by what's revealed to be the Sliver Vines, looking like a sort of viney, like horror, like Sarlacc. Mostly what you can kind of see in the original trilogy version rather than the sequel trilogy and later. Special editions and later the Book of Boba Fett. Sorry, I just forgot what it was. So they tried to fight it off, but eventually they drop a bunch of explosions, blowing it up in a similar manner to the Book of Boba Fett. And then afterwards, they end up escaping with hold on, let me just check with like the data they need. Wrecker checks it while Wrecker bonds with the cadets and making jokes and just probably maybe telling stories. With Wrecker revealing to them that not an exact location, but they do know that Hamlock had moved to a new location to experiment on, which Mock did mention that he did knew that Hamlock was in the base there before, and that they have an idea of a sector for him and Wrecker to go to. But the cadets have no idea what to do now since they're cadets without an army to join. Hunter offers to drop them at the island of Pabu, where they can figure out for themselves. Which the cadets ask what about them, but they're both Wrecker and Hunter tell them they have one last mission to, which of course is find Omega. As the episode ends with the door, as you have Hunter and Mox, the leader of the cadets, shaking hands as a sign of respect. Ending the episode. I'm just going to be back in a sec. I just need to check something. Okay. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, yes. Overall thoughts. I do like the sort of little bit of world building we have with, bringing back Rolando. This time seeing his mother and the crime family he's a part of. She's quite ruthless, so yeah, I do like that. So I also like a little character development you have with Rolando being a bit more trusting of the Bad Batch and wishing them luck. Really letting go of like whatever hostilities he had with them in the past. And he probably knows that Sid betrayed them, so yeah. What do we have else? Yeah. What else do we have? So I do like how they retrieved the horn that you lost for them, and also the pike that they swindled, and it's like they were and I do like how it also goes like how desperate they must be to to cross paths with a Pike just to get this information. But for Omega, for Hunter, Omega is worth it. So there's that. I'm a little disappointed that Echo isn't now permanently part of the group again, but I suppose it makes sense. He'd still be with Rex doing the fight for the clones and getting as many of them as they can. Granted, I was hoping that he'd be back with the Bad Batch at least for a little while, but I guess not. So it's just mostly got a duo of like Wrecker and Hunter, which to be fair, I do quite like both members, so that's fine with me. But I do like how they go back and forth of who's being reckless or panicking when Wrecker's like, hey, we need more, we should probably have more backup going forward. But it's like Wrecker's like, we can't waste. I do like how they have also I do like how Wrecker points out what happened last time. I do also like the goggles there as a sign of remembering Tech. And also that he had died last season. Or at least apparently died. I don't know. I don't know if those theories about Tech being still alive turns out to be true. I mean, I could see Dave Filoni doing it, but we'll have to wait and see. But also then Wrecker getting panicking when it looks like Omega might have perished in an exploding base. So there's that. Anyway, I do like that we actually got to deal with clone cadets this episode, where we learn that though then the clones were no longer deemed useful for the Empire, the cadets that were about to become soldiers instead end up becoming lab experiments. So it kind of just shows you just how messed up it is. And it's like, for these cadets, they're trained their whole lives to become soldiers, only to be turned into experiments. They have to be abandoned by everyone, the Empire, and even their own clone brothers who are just following orders, which I assume is probably the clone commandos rather than the regular regs. So I like that. So they've probably got some trust issues, but I do like how some of them also love the camaraderie with like the Bad Batch. So, but I think it was pretty. I do think it is a little predictable. Where like one of them says, "Let's just get out of here and just leave them behind." But let's see. But the others are like, you know what? I want to help them, and that's what happens. But I do like how they are going to like the Pabu Island, which is like probably be a safe haven for quite a lot of clones in the future, and probably where the Bad Batch might end up at the end of this, season, depending on how it goes for them. But we'll have to wait and see. I doubt Dave Filoni will kill them off. So, but I don't know, so it could be wrong. Anyway, so there's that. And I do like the Divine Monsters as the antagonist. They're just sort of a monster of the week. I guess Vines might not necessarily be the initial threatening thing, but I do like how they're like experiments of the Empire gone wrong. So it's like, ooh, you gotta be careful. So they're a bit more dangerous once you start touching them, and then of course you get a bit more variety of like those little mini three-legged ones or something, which give a bit more of a horror vibe when you enter that. When they enter like the power station. Oh yeah, I do like how like Gunky is actually being used by the Bad Batch, because I don't recall many episodes where Gunk Droid has actually been used. So props to that. So I do like that being seeing that. Anyway, what was I? Oh yes, and I also like how we got like a sort of Sarlacc like creature. As like the final boss of like the whole sort of like maybe a mix of like Sarlacc design with Cthulhu horror, if I guess that's what I'm guessing, or maybe just horror theme in general. I'm not sure. And for those who like the more original design for the Sarlacc, with just the teeth and without the beak, I think at the very least, you probably might at least appreciate it, even if it's like ends up being just taken out the same way as the original Sarlacc did in the Book of Boba Fett. They're sort of rehashing it, but I guess that's maybe was the intention. And I do like it, the Bad Batch at the very least, even though they didn't get the exact information, they at least got an idea of coordinates of where they can find Omega. So it's overall sort of positive for them, for the most part. So yeah, overall, I think this is another 7 out of 10 solid episode. Let's see, it might be predictable in some ways, but I think it's fine, and it's like there's at least enough to see with like a bit of world building with like some previous characters returning. I don't think it was like too much fan service on that end. But I do like how we got to explore the clone cadets that never got to become soldiers and just became experiments for the Empire. Anyway, now for the final of the 3 episodes. Shadow, let's see, Tantus, just give me a sec. I just need to just get a drink. All right, the 3rd and final episode. This is arguably, compared to last time, where my review went wrong. So, okay, here is the next Bad Batch episode. To my surprise, we cut back to like Omega and Crosshair, which I would be honest, I figured. Let's see, we would probably wait until like halfway through the season before they got this kind of focus again, or like the focus that they did. But I'm just getting ahead of myself. Let's see, we pretty much got like the standard Kara escorting Omega to like have a blood sample and all that stuff and the science thing. But this time Omega notices it's a lot more guards, but Kara says that let's see, there's apparently a special prisoner and all that stuff, but it's special guest, but well, not guest yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. They said they'll be informed in due time. They're in the lab with like Dr. Hemlock and LSA, talking about how there's an unexpected visitor. So Kara will oversee her laboratory in her absence, but LSA wants to like try and eliminate the evidence of Omega's blood sample first, but is unable to do so. So she starts to let's see. So as you got like Hemlock discussing with like a clone commando about this sort of escort for the special guest. Nala says, warning Omega that she is in danger, and let's see this, and this is why she is being destroying her blood and all that stuff. So Nala tells Omega to use her data pad and in order to escape and take a shuttle, which she then has to leave with Hemlock, as well as let's see. At this point, you have like Omega starting to ask who this special VIP is, with Kara saying it's best not to ask questions like that, and then trying to get like the data pad, trying to feign illness to distract her and all that stuff. Eventually manages to steal it and takes it away. And then we cut to like the shuttle escort, and it turns out, of course, none other to be like the Emperor. I believe, which I believe is voiced by Ian McDermott for this episode, which I believe he did in the last season as well. So it's great to have his voice back. As the Emperor, who is eager to learn about the progress in this lab from the Doctor. So they end up being escorted, and with the Hemlock talking about how they could their experiments are going well, but if they had more funding and all that stuff, they can expand the whole process. With Emperor saying that he can give as much grand designs as he needs. But he's mostly here to assets that he needs. But he's reminding him that he's here to keep track on Project Necromancer, and that that's why he's here, as it's part of his grand designs, which we're not sure what it is yet. But granted, this is like the same DC project that was mentioned in, I think, The Mandalorian a while back. we see season 3 just as in the two-part. It's in the second to last episode of season 3, so we have that. But anyway, we then cut to like Omega telling Crosshair that she plans to have them escape, but needs him to distract the guards, which he does by telling them to like he orders them to open the cell, which they get annoyed and think like, oh, look how mighty the clone thinks he's in charge. With Omega able to ask once those stormtroopers are distracted, uses the pad. Let's see, Cross gets into a scuffle. Let's see, he manages to stun both. One of them stuns one of their comrades. So, but yeah. With Omega, like telling Cross that she's got no data pad from Nala Se and all that stuff to escape, but she's been improvising much to his annoyance. Let's see, they granted as they're like leaving and hiding by the shuttle, Omega notices that Crosshair's hand shaking because it's like from like it's time from the lab here. But they cross by 2 stormtroopers that tell them that the Emperor is here, and they realize that this made the whole escape much more difficult, as it was like the Crosshair says worst timing, as there'll be a much more tighter guard. But Omega insists to like Crosshair that Nala Se said that she needed to escape now, and that's what they're going to do. But figures like, okay, if we can't take a shuttle to get out, we can go to the crash one to do contacts to like Wrecker and Hunter to rescue them. So we have that. Meanwhile, hold on. Whoops. Hold on a sec. Palpatine in Tesla Vote is showing Hemlock is showing him the experiments from Project Net, samples for Project Necromancer, I assume, and about talking about their progress and hoping that with additional time and resources, they should be able to do it faster, which the Emperor says that he'll be given what is needed for the sake of the future of the Empire. Then we have Car arriving to Omega's cell, realizing it's empty and probably have guessed what Omega's doing. Which we then cut to like Omega and Crosshair shooting down the cage. Back a droid. The Luca Hound caretaker droid, shooting them, taking them out easily as they am going to use Batch's cell to get out since it's empty. But let's see. Car is there and tries to get them to like go back, but Neva's refusing, with Omega trying to plead with her to help. But Car sort of doesn't back down, so Crosshair stuns her, but she's already done communications and alert that they are trying to escape, which they run into the vent as much as possible. And then you have then we cut to the scene of the Emperor preparing to leave his shuttle, talking about Hemlock about how they should keep this project and all that stuff, lab workings a secret, because not everyone in the Empire has their vision and find what they're doing as an abomination. With Hemlock saying that it will be done, but also asks if he can become like the Minister of Silence. But the Emperor says all due course, implying that as long as he succeeds in what he needs to do, then it might be a possibility. And then we have Scorch then informing Hemlock that Omega and Crosshair are missing from like the kind of thing. So they tried to shut down the ray shields and all that stuff, but the duo managed to escape. And they follow Palpatine's shuttle because that will be like arguably the flight claw that they can find to the shot down shuttle. We see Hemlock with Nala Se and some of the clone commanders in the farm in the sort of hold on, kennel. Let's see, in the kennel. Hold on. Where Car is regaining conscience and asking what's going on, but we're informing them of what went down. Hemlock orders that the Looker Hounds be released, but Carr grows concerned because they won't bring them back alive. That's the case, but he's willing to take the measures to try and capture them. So, and once he dismisses Carr to do some sort of a job assignment, confronts Nalase about her possible involvement, which she denies, but he doesn't believe her, so has her arrested and taken to a cell. So then we get like a shuttle, a row class transport shuttle to hunt down pretty much our escaped prisoners, if you will. So during Mega and Crosshair's escape, she trips, and they encounter a hulking Dryax, which I think is similar to what was seen in the Ahsoka series. But lucky for them, the Looker Hounds arrive on time and they start fighting each other, so they end up avoiding it, which fine by that. And they get to the shuttle and try to turn it back on, but the power's dead, and this is where a clone commando with a group of stormtroopers arrives trying to capture them. Firefight hangs out with eventually I think the clone commander being taken out, but Batch also arriving to assist them. Omega ends up getting into the shuttle, disabling the pilot, getting it closer towards Crosshair. They swap places with her shooting and then him trying to pilot it out of here. Batcher also turns to give them a bit of backup, taking out one or two of the stormtroopers and then hopping aboard the ship as they attempt to fly, but are then chased by starfighters who was trying to shoot them down. But Carr, during finishing the blood sample tests, realized that Omega is positive for what they need, informs Dr. Hemlock, who reluctantly lets them go, despite the protests from the clone commandos or Scotch, but thinks they need to see Omega alive. And after just being shot a few times in the shuttle, they jump into hyperspace, with him saying her gone is just escape, just a minor setback. And he has all the resources of the Empire to hunt her down, and will do so, sort of ending, I think, on Carr's face a bit close up, showing perhaps maybe her concern, ending the episode. So there we go, that was the last one. All right, overall thoughts. Out of the 3 episodes, I'd say this is probably the best one. Yeah. This is arguably the best episode of the 3 that came out. Granted, I will admit, I expected the prison escape thing to happen perhaps maybe a few more episodes in, and we'd spend more time here, but I guess Dave Filoni has other plans for Omega and Crosshair. Granted, I expect Crosshair is probably going to reunite with the Bad Batch sooner rather than later. As I recall, I think I saw some scenes with them in trailers or previews or something like that, but I could be wrong. So we have that. But anyway, overall thoughts. I do like how Nalase is trying her best to get to try and do her duty, to try and destroy Omega's evidence before it's this point she realizes that she can't stop it now because of that surprise guest. So let's see, she realizes that Omega's in danger, so tells her to escape no matter what happens to her. So I do like that because she's clearly going to be regarded as a traitor by Hemlock in front of a much tighter, more harsher cell kind of thing. Granted, he still needs her to do experiments, but she's probably not going to be get the same privileges that she had beforehand. So yeah, because she let Omega escape, so that, and as well as Crosshair. So I do like that little bit. I do like how Omega is just trying to quietly sneak in, take the data pad, but you've left trying to figure out how to get. Let's see, when Carr's distracted long enough for her to retrieve it. I do like how you got and she does try to fringe illness to try and get Carr to agree. So I think that was fine. What else is there? I do like how, let's see, the banter between, let's see, Omega and Crosshair is like, do you have a plan? No, I'm improvising. It's like, this is terrible. Why'd you do it now? And all that stuff. So I do like that. But I also do like the little banter, and it's like, do you remember Plan 72? And Omega's like saying, yeah, Tech made me remind me of the whole, remember every plan with Tech. With Crosshair saying that sounds like Tech. Granted, I will say one disappointment on these episodes is the fact that we never really got Crosshair's reaction, possibly being told by Omega that Tech is apparently dead or is dead, depending on who you ask. And we don't really get to see a reaction to that because I think it's because despite what Crosshair is like, I think deep down he does care for the Bad Batch's comrades. And I think he'd be very upset to learn that Tech was has been killed because at the very least Tech is he smart enough to have a conversation with compared to say like I'd say, well, granted you could have a conversation with Wrecker, but I think he gets more annoyed with Wrecker than he does with Tech. So there's that. So so I do like that little bit of banter. Then I do like how they even take out like you have like Crosshair taking out how he took out the stormtroopers and how they take out the robot guard. I do like how both of them are taking no nonsense from Car. Let's see, from Car when she tries to offer them back. Realize it, and I do like Omega's speech about how let's see, all my life I've been stuck on the planet Kamino. I'm not going to be stuck on another one like it. So she wants to be free. So I do like how Crosshair is like, okay, not wasting any more time on you, just stunning when she tries to stop them. So props to that. I do love seeing, of course, Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor again. The more we see of him, the better he is while we still have him and all that. Granted, I don't think he's going to pass away anytime soon, but you never know. So it's always good to just see him voicing the Emperor because it's always menacing. And I do like how it's tying into like sort of like the live action Star Wars shows and probably arguably the sequel trilogy overall. So I do like seeing that sort of little stage of the process and like how the relationship he has with Hemlock is saying, all right, I will give you all the resources and necessary requirements as the time, but if you expect to be promoted, you better show results. So I do like that. I also do like how we see that even though the Emperor might be in control of the galaxy, there are still some issues at first he needs to deal with before he can solidify his power. And one of them, I think, of course, being of I'm trying to remember. I'm getting tired now. Oh yes, and the fact that there was an imperial hierarchy that would be more disgusted by sort of the unethical experiments that Dr. Hemlock is doing. So yeah, props to that. I do like seeing like and how he wants this to be done discreetly, but he says that in the long time you prove useful, he will reward him with a higher rank Minister of Science, which is his ambition to do and do whatever cruel science stuff that he can. With Dr. Hemlock clearly showing you more of like the darker side of scientists about their ambitions and all that, and going too far with their experiments. So you have that. I thought that was fine. Other than that, what else is there? Oh yes, fine with like the stuff tying into like arguably the Mandalorian and probably the sequel trilogy. With the Necromancer stuff, so there's that. I think the fighting was good, though. Granted, perhaps it might be a bit too much to think that was one clone that's no longer at his prime can be eat with a little girl can take on an army, but there you have it. But there's that. What else is there? Sorry, I'm just lost in thought, I guess. I like how Batcher returns, and now it seems to be Omega's pet. Though I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a casualty down the line. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bad Batch welcome to for enough once they get over the fact that it's a monster that normally is a monster they try and fight, but who knows? What else is there? Yeah, decent fight, and I do like how they hijack the shuttle. And I do like how the fact that the only reason they escaped is because the bad guys with a particular car realizes that they need Omega alive because she's positive, and Hemlock is like it's the same. But even if this minor setback, at least in regards to him with Aang escaping, he will probably get what he needs to do it in the end, which he's that confident in. So props to him for that. What else is there? I do like how Batcher ends up joining the group. I already said that, so arguably, probably everything has been covered. Nala Se is probably in trouble for helping Omega escape. Omega and Crosshair escape and now forming a sort of unlikely duo to try and reunite with the Bad Batch, who are just coming on their way to try and find them, or at least in the sector. Who knows? We have to wait and see how that plays out. And hold on. Oh yeah, the sort of blaster fight, seeing the Emperor at the end, the bad guys start to make their move on Omega. So all that stuff. So yeah. Overall, I give it like an 8 out of 10. A pretty solid episode. Particularly like I like this sort of banter between like Omega and Crosshair. Seeing more of the Emperor's plans for Project Necromancy and learn the fact that the Emperor was a part of it, as well as the fact that they were able to escape just in time. So yeah, standard good episode, better than the other two, and yeah. Hold on. And I do like how they got like a new little companion with like the Baka Hounds. So there's that. And I also like how Crosshair's not fully recovered from all that horrible experiments on that the Empire's done to him. So yeah. So arguably out of 10, good episode. Let's see, I'm going to wrap it up now because I'm starting to get tired. It's starting to make me forget what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Angela Serena, I do. Thank you for your comments. Unfortunately, you kind of disappeared halfway there, but if you come back and watch the stream again, I hope you liked what I had to say, and look forward to reviewing the next episode, which I hope you will find time to listen to me stream when it happens. But for now, and for anyone else who ends up watching the stream, but for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. May the Force be with you.